been given before as a chance, maybe a run of 2 or 3 games to go out and show what he can do. Hopefully today's the day for him.
Okay, let's see what he can do. The teams are on their way. Can Ulster make it an unbeaten September? Let's join our commentary team and say good afternoon to Ryan Constable and first, Jim Neely.
It is a glorious afternoon here in Parma, the temperature in the low 70s, so the men who carry the water bottles will be the busiest. Ulster on the park, followed very quickly by the home side, the Zebre, looking for their first win of the season. Seems strange that they were the visitors to Belfast just a couple of weeks ago, and here they are at home playing exactly the same side that turned them over. Referee and his assistants coming out. Peter Fitzgibbon from Munster, the man who's in the middle. Roger Wilson leads the Ulster side. Only 2 men played in the pack from a week ago, Nick Williams and second row forward Franco van der Merwe. First cap for Clive Ross. And behind the scrum, well, a hardcore Paddy Jackson, Darren Cave, Tommy Bowe and Craig Gilroy, all Irish internationals. First start of the season for centre Stuart McCluskey. Zebre, a big strong pack, an all international front 5, led by Italian second row forward Quinton Geldenhuys, and in the back row the man who's won 100 caps for Italy, Mauro Bergamasco. Experience behind the scrum as well in the shape of the 2 wing 3/4 Julio Toniolati, who moves across to the right wing to accommodate one of the stars of the RBS Six Nations, Leonardo Sarto, who's playing on the left wing. Ulster in unfamiliar purple, their away strip. It's the first competitive game that they've actually worn this away strip, and it's going to be Paddy Jackson playing his second game in succession to get us underway here in sunlit Parma. And not a bad kick by Jackson. The sun is very bright indeed, and Ulster playing into the sun, so I'm pretty sure that the home side will be trying to employ the kick just to make it all the more difficult for the man who's going to receive the ball, and that's exactly the tactic. Up went Craig Gilroy, nicely taken in by Ulster. Michael Heaney, first start of the season. Callum Black takes it forward. Ulster hoping to establish a good platform straight away. Jackson inside to Darren Cave. Heaney got it away nicely. Jackson for a bit of territory, and that's not a bad kick by Jackson. Gets it in behind Sarto. And Leonardo Sarto, only 22 years of age, a huge talent, isn't he, Ryan?
Yeah, real player to watch, and Ulster will need to ensure that any kicks are accurate, well placed, and most importantly, well chased. Some regulation stuff from both teams, accepting the kickoff, and in conditions like this, we can expect width, we can expect tempo.
2 meters.
Most of all, it'll be, as it always is, about getting that front football, controlling set piece and dominating the breakdown.
Great challenge by Ulster at the breakdown. Rob Herring popped it back, but unfortunately Ulster's skipper Roger Wilson just nudged it forward. The initial knock from the line-out was backward from a Zebre hand, and Roger Wilson unfortunately put it down.
Keep the weight off until the set, both sides.
Peter Fitzgibbon from Munster refereeing his 59th Pro 12 game today. His assistants as touch judges Matteo Liparini and Stefano Penny. The match official is Carlo Damasco, and the sighting commissioner is from Wales, Russell Howell. Not a bad scrum. It's coming up. What is Peter Fitzgibbon going to say about that? He's telling Zebre to use it, and they do use it. Boswani, who scored the Italian side's try at Ravenhill a couple of weeks ago. Ulster making life a little bit difficult. That was a missed tackle straight away there by Nick Williams. Zebre make a few precious meters. Back to the enormous fullback Henny Daniller, born in Cape Town some 30 years ago, and that's a good clearance.
Excellent clearance, and Danila has got that huge thumping left boot. Excellent conditions for foot placement. Expect them to use that strategy to exit their own 22. Opportunity now to have a look at lineouts. Crucial element of the game. Ulster performed particularly well last weekend. They'll look to take that form into this match to create that vital primary possession.
Rob Herring, who started the opening 2 games. Rory Best is on the bench. And again, Ulster's handling not really up to the mark at the back of that line out.
Use it.
Palazzani tries to set it up. Good driving forward by some of the big forwards. Outside half, Padovani. And he's put that straight into touch, and that's going to be an Ulster line-out. So a little bit scrappy there by Ulster.
They'll also be looking to play with real width and tempo. Their strike force really lies in that outside back channel. Proven internationals in the form of Bowen Trimble and Gilroy, that ability to hit the line anywhere with electric feet. Looking for Darren Cable floating in the tackle.
Taken by Roger Wilson at the back, wearing number 6. Spent most of his senior rugby career and indeed his school career wearing number 8. Held in by the new cap Clive Ross. Jackson again looking to put a bit of width on it, and that's judged to perfection by Paddy Jackson. That's another pinpoint kick by Ulster's outside half, and nothing the talented Mr. Danila from Cape Town could do about that.
Yeah, 2 excellent kicks out of hand in general play by Paddy Jackson. Understanding first and foremost you need to establish that territory, attack from inside opposition 22, and now looking to disrupt this line out.
Knocked down at the back by George Biaggi. Ulster comes swarming through. Home side have cleaned it up and made a good bit of ground. It was good work by the tight head Dario Ciustolini.
Stand blue, stand
Bit of a miscue. Well gathered in by Tommy Bowe. Craig Gilroy. Now Michael Allen. Darren Cave. Well recovered by Stuart McCloskey, playing his first game of the season. Really came through at the end of last season. Played some storming games at inside centre. Jackson, maybe a little bit overcooked, but it's not a bad. It could sit up nastily, but that's going to be dotted down.
22.
And the Italians have been given the option of taking the scrummage, but they've taken the 22 dropout. A little bit of variation there by Ulster.
Yeah, and Michael Allen it is on the left wing, not Andrew Trimble. He'll be looking to impress again. Another opportunity, just demonstrating the depth within this Ulster team, particularly in the backs. Number of players capable at this level and all vying for that crucial spot come European time.
9 of the Zebre side started the game in Belfast a couple of weeks ago. Only 3 of the Ulster side, so Ulster really going through a serious bit of rotation.
Stop 3. Okay.
Good covering by Paddy Jackson. Where's that going to go? That's going to kick. Is it going to move? Oh, it's a very good kick, and Sam Vanessa has to go all the way back, and that's going to work to Ulster's advantage. That's 3 very good kicks out of hand from Paddy Jackson so far.
Yeah, excellent judgment and execution, finding the turf. Once that ball bounces, we know anything can happen, and Ulster benefiting from those kicks, establishing once again that territorial advantage. Looking to call the set piece move now. Jackson and McCluskey talking in the midfield, arranging what strike move they'll employ should they get possession from this line out.
Ulster's 3 big men in the middle of the line out. McComb, Van der Merwe and Williams behind him, and then Roger Wilson, so plenty of options. Nicely taken by Neil McComb. McCluskey had to check a little bit. The pass could have been a little bit more in front of him, and Ulster give away the first penalty of the afternoon.
Number 2 straight on the ball on his feet, release.
Peter Fitzgibbon called number 2 there, but I have a feeling it was number 7. It's not a bad kick at all from the Italians outside half. Eduardo Padovani, at 21 years of age, the youngest member of this side. So this is going to be the closest that the home side have got to the visitors' try line. Plenty of decent line-out options for Italian international Andrea Manici. Well taken at the front. The Italians trying to do a bit of serious mauling, and they're moving forward with serious intent toward the Ulster line. Ulster have dug in. Here comes Zebre. That's a bit of a shambles in the middle of the park. I think that was knocked forward, and Ulster should get the scrum. Good first up Ulster defence.
Yeah, very good initially from that line out, just shifting the momentum of that drive from Zebre, forcing them to the sideline, and then excellent press defence from the inside backs to create that turnover Paddy Jackson, the one applying that pressure, and a welcome relief from that attack inside their own 22.
Yeah, let's just make sure we see that shoulder. Get it out, please.
Still 8
Don't
minutes
knee
gone.
on, no touching
Still
the
no
shoulder.
score here in sunlit
Good reset.
Parma. Very decent Ulster support here.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Callum Black on the Ulster loose head side.
We're up.
Scrum has come up, but not illegally, according to Peter Fitzgibbon. So they'll have to do it again. Ulster did exceptionally well in this particular area at Cardiff Arms Park a week ago against the Blues.
Second, don't push up, push straight.
Peter Fitzgibbon just instructing them as to how he wants the scrummage to be conducted. Michael Heaney,
Crouch.
first start of the season in a competitive game. Paul Marshall on the bench.
You're touching them, you're leaning on them. It's a free kick. You must keep the space.
Free kick against the Zebre for leaning on. And Jackson, it is a free kick, so the line out will go to the Zebre, but that's another good strike out of the hand by Paddy Jackson. And Ulster have cleared their lines.
It's the sort of maturity you
White
want
ball,
from your
free
fly
kick,
half.
white ball.
Perfect conditions for running rugby, but not being drawn into a 7 style of rugby, executing, following the game plan, putting Ulster in the right parts of the pitch.
And they also put a little bit of pressure on
Just
this
wait,
home
let's
line
get
out.
organised. Out 10 metres, number 9. 5 each. Play.
Well taken by Biaggi, Italian international, born in Irvine in Ayrshire in Scotland. Good driving maul by the Zebre, and they get the penalty. And Ulster right at the bottom of that, probably guilty of bringing it down. Mauro Bergamasco, surprise, surprise, in the middle of a little bit of nonsense on the ground.
Both sides. Move away. Move away. Captain sits with here.
Having a little word with Declan Fitzpatrick, who got a little bit
away,
fractious.
Move away, we're going to check. The first penalty is you collapsing them all, okay? Don't do that again, please. Time off.
Roger Wilson penalised for dropping the ball.
What I have seen clearly is the injured players number 3
Yes.
punching the opponent number 2 White straight in the face on the floor after the whistle. That was clear, absolutely.
Okay.
I can't tell you anything about if this was a retaliation about something else. That
Okay, so we need to check if there was foul play by White.
Clear foul play. But
Is it retaliation or is it unprovoked? Okay, Carlo, can you hear me? Do you want to speak?
Well, they're going upstairs to Carlo
Damasco.
Damasco to have a look at whether or not Declan Fitzpatrick was guilty of throwing a punch, and was it a retaliatory punch?
Ok, quello che io ho visto chiaramente è un pugno al volto del numero 3.
Well, the sun is shining so brightly in our monitors, it's hard to see from there. There's something went on the ground. Andrea Manici swung a punch, I do believe, at Declan Fitzpatrick, who reacted, not surprisingly.
Thank you. Yeah, we need to wait for the outcome of this before we can say if it's a blood sub or not. Okay.
Declan Fitzpatrick is
take
bleeding,
water,
so
we can take water while
Ulster
we're
may
waiting.
well have to bring on a replacement if the cut warrants him leaving the field to get some attention. Fian Herbst is the replacement tight head prop. Hard to see there, Ryan. What do you think?
Yeah, difficult one. They're obviously going to have to scrutinise that from up above. There is no big screen at the ground, so the referee will be totally reliant on the report he receives. A number of angles to look at, and I'm sure they'll arrive at a decision. In the meantime, a welcome water break for the rest of the team. Ulster's back division grouping together to have a conversation about what they've seen thus far and what they can implement.
They're putting their heads against the opposition. You need to keep the space. I'm going to say the same to them, but you must keep the space between the head and the opponent.
Quilton Keldenhays, the 33-year-old,
yes,
born in South Africa, but has been a member of the Italian squad for the best part of 10 years.
Well, keep the
Still no
space.
word from Carlo Damasco, a former international referee himself,
on the front
as
of
to
the
what
same.
happened now.
We're touching on the bind. We need to be a little bit of a gap
Is there
on the
something
bind. I know that.
going on
I
there
want to say
involving
for both.
Andrea Manici,
Okay, so let me
and
sort
did
that out now when we
Declan Fitzpatrick, legally or otherwise, react to that? And what's going to be the outcome? The penalty had already been given against Roger Wilson for collapsing the maul, so Ulster at the very worst are going to still find themselves on the end of a penalty, but there could be some action taken against either Manici or Fitzpatrick or both.
Still checking that, Carlo.
Carlo Damasco is still checking this.
Zebre look like
Yes,
they're
Carlo,
going to employ that driving more as we get the report.
Yes, go ahead.
3 red.
Yes.
They give a serious punch straight on the face.
3 red with a punch to the face.
Straight on the face, seriously.
Okay. You haven't seen any provocation?
Absolutely not from
no
Declan
provocation from White.
Fitzpatrick
So
is going to get
sanction?
himself a yellow card and possibly even a red card.
Your recommended sanction is a red card against number 3.
Oh my
red
goodness.
Yes.
For a punch.
I confirm.
Carlo
Okay,
Damasco, the
three,
Italian,
We've
has
reviewed
recommended
it, and
that
they can't
Declan
see any
Fitzpatrick
clear
is going to be sent
provocation.
off.
Punch the player directly in the face, which is serious foul play, and it's a red card.
That is amazing. Well, Declan Fitzpatrick doesn't play an awful lot of rugby for Ulster, and he's not going to play any more part in this game. And it's a very, very disconsolate. Declan Fitzpatrick has been sent from the field, and Ulster handicapped now by the fact that they're down to 14 men. Well, well, well.
Yeah, difficult to see what led to what provocation there was for throwing that punch, but the referee has decided that it was a clear punch, and therefore red card is the sanction. Not much option once that was the report given. Ulster now having to modify their game plan to adapt to 14 men in the heat for the remainder of this match.
Well, they don't want to be dragging down the maul yet again, which led to the penalty in the first place. Quentin Keldenhays had it, Roger Wilson. And Ulster have given away another penalty, side entry. Things are starting to unravel a little bit from an Ulster perspective. Referee is still playing advantage. This is Biaggi. Good tackle by Clive Ross, taken on by Orquera.
Advantage over!
Or Aguero, I should say. Still there for Zebre. Trying to put a little bit of width of it. Referee is still playing advantage, it seems. If this stops, he'll come right back to the near side of the field. Ball has gone loose, but it's coming back on the Zebre side. And here they come again. Keldenhays is in there helping his ball carrier. Taken forward by Kelly Haimona, who played outside half a couple of weeks ago in Belfast. Roger Wilson as ever in the middle of everything.
Stay back, Blue.
Well, Ulster will have to think about taking off a back row forward and bringing on a tight head prop once we get down to the business of scrummaging. But in the meantime, Ulster are in the business of defending, and they're defending as hard as they possibly can.
Blue away, 5.
Good work yet again by Ulster's first up defence. This is Biaggi trying to get it away. Michael Allen with the initial tackle. And Ulster get the penalty. Well, that's very good defending by Ulster.
Not releasing.
But what a blow after 10 minutes to be down to 14 men.
It does make it difficult, particularly in these testing conditions. They will have to modify once that scrum comes on. They're going to have to make that replacement, sacrifice another player. Excellent defence on that occasion. Zebre continuing with those tactics we saw at Kingspan, around the fringes, very physical. Little pods of 2 and 3 close to the ruck, not playing with a huge amount of width, trying to use that bulk they have in their pack to make the small yards.
Well, what a decision. Declan Fitzpatrick in the bin. It's Ulster's line out though, and they're just inside the Zebre half. Rob Herring. Neil McComb at the front. He's got to get it in, Rob Herring. Good take by Van der Merwe. Michael Heaney. Michael Allen right through. Good break by Allen. He's got McCluskey with him. Nice offload to McCluskey. Big strong hand off by Stuart McCluskey. He's only a couple of metres away.
14 away.
Ulster looking to strike back immediately, and that's pretty close to the line. And the referee, I think, has spotted a slight knock forward, and that really was very close to the first try of the game.
Some excellent work from the line-out, pre-rehearsed movement. As the players drift off, Michael Allen sees the space, draws their defender, puts McCluskey away, and he uses that big hand off the left hand. Finally get him to ground just inches short, and then coming at real pace onto the ball.
7.
Quality of possession there, but some outstanding defence from Zebre right on their line to deny Ulster what looked like a certain try.
Number 7. Number 7, it's a change.
Well, it was very close to the first try, and unfortunately for Clive Ross, who's been waiting for his first Ulster appearance, it's only going to last about 14 minutes because he's had to go off to make way for Vian Herbst, because Ulster have to have men fully equipped to play in the front row. So Declan Fitzpatrick, red carded, Vian Herbst on, and that'll certainly not weaken the Ulster scrum, although they will be down to only 7 men. So Nick Williams and Roger Wilson, the 2 men in the back row. Well, wouldn't it be interesting if Ulster could force something against the 8-man forward pack of the home side? So close to the first try. In it goes, Zebre digging in. They do have that a bit of extra weight. Michael Heaney told not to shove. Sam Vanessa comes away with it. Not the greatest clearance in the world. He was under a lot of pressure, Henny Daniller. And it's Ulster's ball. Well, still within the opening 15 minutes and lots of controversy. That'll be talked about for some time, Ryan.
Yeah, it adjusts Ulster's defensive strategy at scrum time. If Zebre look to use that advantage, Ulster need their back rowers on the scrum pushing to hold back superior numbers. Zebre can dictate which way the scrum goes. They can open up channels where defenders should have been but wouldn't be and expose Ulster in that department, but they'll need to employ tactics to make the most of that advantage.
Good defensive line out by the Zebre. Ulster took the ball in on the home side, squeezed him toward the touchline, and it's going to be a Zebre throw. Bonus point win in Belfast a couple of weeks ago for Ulster. Took them a wee while to get there, but they did in the end.
Who's speaking to me, please? Who's speaking to me? Sorry. If it's nothing, we play on. Just tell me at space now. Tell me at a stoppage, please, Stefano. Okay, next stoppage. Take the information.
Didn't look altogether straight. Taken at the front by Samuel Vanessa, the Fijian.
Stay back, Blue. Onside. Use it.
Scrum half shaping up for a kick. Tommy Bowe gathers. Craig Gilroy at full back.
Wide out 10 metres.
That was the scrum half, Guglielmo Palazzani.
No, it's all good. He was retreating, that's fine.
He didn't step back inside the 22 when he had the ball in his possession. He retreated inside the 22 to gather the ball. So having kicked it from inside the 22, it was perfectly legal. Ulster's line out.
The ball down. Stop, stop. You need to organise your calls quicker now. No more delays. Get the ball in immediately, please. Play on.
For Skibbon being quite sharp with Ulster about the delay in the line. That's an awful throw. This is Kelton Hayes, the Zebre skipper. Vanessa, good defence yet again by Ulster. That was Van der Merwe. Good work by Rob Herring. Zebre into the Ulster half, albeit by a metre. Again, that's a difficult one. Allen couldn't gather. Well taken by McCluskey. Allen seems to have got himself hurt. Oh, light years offside, surely, right under Peter Fitzgibbon's nose. Going back in the Ulster side, Paddy Jackson tries to get it away. It was touched, so the player is onside. Good work yet again by Ulster. That was Darren Cave.
Carried back in.
That should be gathered by Gilroy, despite that nasty sun. Here he comes. Nice to see Gilroy doing a bit of running. Well tackled by Musenyi. Michael Heaney. Taken on by Vian Herbst and Neil McComb. Good call. Well picked up by Jackson. Right foot, not too far away, underneath by about a couple of feet. So that was the nearest we've really come, apart from the almost try by Ulster to a score.
Yeah, Ulster failing to replicate that clear line break that they made earlier.
Yes.
Looking to get their big ball carriers into the game. They haven't really had meaningful possession in opposition territory to go through their phases, through their patterns to try and exploit some weaknesses out wide. looking for those big men like Nick Williams, Roger Wilson. Seeing Neil McComb already carrying some ball, try and get over that advantage line. Water break being called, given the conditions, deciding that it give the opportunity to the players to get some water on board.
And there's going to be a blood replacement. The Zebre flanker, number 7, Filippo Cristiano, has left the field temporarily, and on has come in his place the Italian international Valerio Bernabeu. So Cristiano has gone off, Bernabeu has come on as a blood replacement, and we'll have a little bit of break for water. And I just stretch out and I just grab my own water, thank you. Nobody's bringing us any water, we've got to bring it ourselves.
Yeah, that sun straight in the eyes, and difficult for the players. Although saying that, Ulster certainly, given the weather in Belfast over the last month, there would have been plenty of training in dry conditions. No real impediment to the way they like to play the game, which is with tempo and width. Clear to see Zebre looking to drive the line out, to play around the fringes with their big runners, and happy to play a much closer, tight game than what Ulster would like.
Somebody getting a little bit of treatment on the Ulster side. It's going to be a 22 dropout. The water break is over. I'm sure we'll have many more of those.
Time on. Onside now.
Zebre to get the game start again. Eduardo Padovani.
All okay. All okay.
Craig Gilroy got a bit of a bump, but the referee was happy with it. Good chasing by Michael Allen. Good work by Padovani, who started the whole thing off. Here's Tony Aletti. Bit of adventure from Zebre. That's the New Zealander. Takes it on. This is the replacement, Valerio Bernabeu.
Backwards.
Ball has gone backward according to the referee, so still very much there for Zebre, but it's slow ball. They needed a lot quicker than that. Haimona. Again, played number 10 against Ulster in Belfast. This is the current number 10. Okay. Tommy Bowe calls for the fair catch. Little tap to himself. Jackson, bit of a scruffy one that. Okay. Bounced up handily for Zebre. Now they're going to try to launch something from here. Little glance by Padovani. That's an enormous kick. Knocked back by Gilroy, well taken in by Paddy Jackson. Two of them working nicely. Heaney, Roger Wilson, Ulster's captain.
Advantage, knock on. Just
nicely set up.
He's the tackler, he was fine.
Knocked on by the men in white. And referee playing advantage to Ulster. Jackson.
Advantage over.
Good pass. Nicely done. Back inside to Jackson. That was very good work indeed by Stuart McCluskey, who shows some lovely touches for a big man.
Yeah, difficult man to bring down. He's got that reach and he keeps defenders at bay. Held a very good line along the touch line, but desperate cover defence from Zebre, and reaching this juncture in the first half. They're right in this match. Certainly happy with their performance at line-out time once they get possession, to be able to make metres through that driving ball, and opportunity now at scrum time to try and apply some pressure, albeit one man down for Ulster.
Well, into the second quarter here in Parma, still no score. The main talking point, without a doubt, the red carding of Declan Fitzpatrick for a punch. It wasn't retaliatory according to the TMO, Carlo Damasco. So Declan Fitzpatrick sent off, and Ulster down to 7 forwards. Fihan Strauss on the far side of the Ulster scrum.
Stay on side now.
Well, that's good work by Callum Black. He's popped his opposite number up out of the scrum. A lot of pressure on that scrum. This is Kelly Haimona.
Stay here. Onside, onside.
Shaping up to kick. That's staying in field, or is it going to drift out? And it's sensibly done by Michael Allen, because what Michael Allen did there was he caught the ball and he put one foot in touch, and that, as far as the law is concerned, is the same as the ball going straight into touch. Good appreciation of the laws by Michael Allen.
Yeah, very good appreciation and good execution. That was straight into the sunlight. He would have been looking into that blazing sun, as well as trying to catch that ball, and executed it particularly well, and has got some advantage in terms of territory now, and an excellent attacking position for Ulster.
The treatment for Stuart McCluskey, who was twice involved in probably Ulster's best movements. Very nearly got a try himself, which would have been his first Ulster try. and he had his head bandaged, but he's decided he doesn't like that bit of tape around his head, so he's taken it off. That was well done by Michael Allen.
Really going forward, all I see is a slow up, and the ball is available, you've taken it out. But if I think we've got an advantage and they stand up, I'll look after it. Same both ways, yeah.
Yeah, Fitzgibbon having a word with the Zebre skipper, Quentin Geldenhuys. He's played 49 tests for Italy, and the man there wearing number 6 has played 100 tests for Italy. Well away by Ulster. Kluski had to check. Good sidestep. My word, he's strong. Heaney. Better stuff. McComb. That went backward. Referee's happy enough with that. Ulster on the front foot. Now starting to threaten a little bit. Just a slight knock forward there by Michael Heaney, who'll be furious with himself. So encouraging from Ulster when they've got the ball in hand. They certainly looked a better side.
Yeah, well, they're the ones creating the opportunities through the width and pace they've got out wide. It's that offloading in the tackle. We've seen McCluskey doing it a number of times, and as you make those clean breaks, they would have looked for more of a return from them. But frustrating game, not a huge amount of rhythm to it all. Very stop-start, red cards, number of disruptions at the set piece, and neither team really imposing themselves on this match.
Well, there were wins last night for Glasgow and for Leinster. The old order seems to be restored there. Edinburgh and the Scarlets drew. Penalty against Ulster's front row for coming up. You may have heard Peter Fitzgibbon say they're up and out. Penalty, I think, given against Ulster's loosehead Callum Black.
Yeah, previously that both front rows coming up, but the scrum was largely stationary on that occasion. It was Zebre who were moving forward, and when the front rows come up and one team is moving forward, benefit goes to them, and benefit in this case is a penalty and an opportunity to get into Ulster territory and try and get some meaningful attack. Used Hamona up the middle at 12 to try and create a little bit of front foot ball, but haven't really then used that possession to take the ball forward in the halves and really threaten Ulster in the wider channels.
Coming up to 25 minutes played. Still no score. Ulster probably the closest, or the closer, I should say. Bergamasco at the back of the line-out.
Inside the 5 here.
Vanessa. Geldenhuys. Taken on by the hooker Andrea Manici, who's involved with Declan Fitzpatrick, leading to the sending off. Oh, that's a good piece of running by the tight head prop, Dario Giustolini. Good chance now this for Zebre if they can move this. Hamona gets it away to the fullback, Tony Oletti. Good covering Ulster defence. George Biaggi. Quicker ball now for Zebre, that's better from them. Here's the tight head again. Dario Giustolini, one of an all-international front row. Roger Wilson. Yeah, Nick Williams using a little bit of agricultural language there because the referee was in his way. And he was told to run round the referee. That's been knocked forward. Referee's playing advantage. And that's well away by Ulster. And they've cleared the lines yet again. So the Ulster defence is standing up pretty well, Ryan.
Yeah, an excellent passage of attack there from Zebre, going into the wider channel and slowly progressing up the pitch, but Ulster employing somewhat of a passive drift initially to contain them, and then using that confrontational front foot defence that's characteristic of their match, and forcing the turnover eventually to clear their lines.
I know.
Still got the replacement on, Valerio Bernabo wearing number 20. Don't know whether the man he replaced has been stitched and is ready to come back on again. And there's going to be a stoppage because the home hooker Andrea Manici is down injured.
I realise I got in the way. I didn't mean it. No, I can't. Under law, I can't. Yeah, but I can't under law.
Well, Nick Williams is arguing with Peter Fitzgibbon, who is apologising, and there's no point in Nick really trying to take issue with him. If the referee says, I'm sorry, there's no point in saying you're in the way.
Yeah, just a clarification on the rules there being handed out by the referee. If the ball carrier runs into him, he can blow the whistle and reset via a scrum, but if he gets in the way of a defender, it's his fault, and he apologises for it, but he cannot legally stop the game, was what he was saying to Nick, I think.
Manici is still down, and it looks as if Filippo Cristiano is going to come back on again. He's been patched up. Manici seems to be fine. Off comes Valerio Bernabeu. So Bernabeu coming off. And Cristiano is coming back on. So the blood replacement has been made and then reversed.
Well, given their respective places on the competition table, it'll certainly be Zebre that are happy with the scoreboard as it currently sits, and certainly feel like they're in this match. Ulster depleted down to 14 numbers, trying to make that tell.
Herring gets it away. Darren Cave. Allen. Good footwork by the Ulster wing three-quarter. Heaney. Jackson by Roger Wilson. Gave that away a wee bit cheaply, but it was knocked forward. Nicely picked up by Paddy Jackson. Into a wee bit of space, but it's gathered in by the returning flanker, Filippo Cristiano, and it was knocked forward by Giorgio Biaggi. Ulster scrum. They need to get this in quickly and away. They certainly look to have the edge behind the scrum. All that needs is one little clean line break.
Yeah, haven't as yet converted those clean line breaks, but at least they're making them. But it's been very stop-start, a number of injuries, stoppages, water stoppages, red cards, referrals to the TMO, and that lack of rhythm is not helping Ulster's cause, who really like to play with tempo and rhythm in their game, and it's really bringing things down to the lowest common denominator.
Well, Stuart McCluskey, who's as big, if not bigger than an awful lot of top-class flankers, has come in to bolster Ulster's scrum. Penalty against the Italian front row. No messing about from Peter Fitzgibbon.
Pulling down. Must be up and over. Thank you.
Matthias Aguero, now 33 years of age, deliberately collapsing the scrum. Jackson had a little look at the post there.
Decision. Shot at goal.
And it's going to be a shot at goal.
Well, square in the middle, so taking the opportunity, sighting those goalposts and thinking on a very still afternoon that it's within range. He'll have to give this one a good old thump, but foot position will be good and not a huge amount of wind, so he'll go through his motions, and Ulster will definitely get a defensive line chase on this kick.
Well, it's as close to the halfway line as makes no difference, about maybe half a metre inside the home half, directly in front of the post. Not a breath of wind here. The sun is moving round, and it's actually now shining into our eyes. How dare it? So we can hardly see a thing. But all we want to see is the touch judge's flags go up. No. Paddy Jackson, as he pulled that in, I can hear Peter Fitzgibbon say no, and he was wide by a considerable distance. The distance wasn't the problem, the accuracy was the problem. So coming up to half an hour gone, and it's still Zebre 0 and Ulster 0. Taken very quickly and cleverly by Quentin Heldenays. The deft little touch from the big second row. Also competing on the ground, and slow ball yet again from Zebre. Jackson trying to return that with a bit of interest. Gilroy doing a bit of chasing. Good challenge by Gilroy. Knocked forward by the men in white. Ulster scrum. It is a scrappy, messy old game, isn't it?
Yeah, number of individual errors from both sides. Little knock-ons, scrum resets. It's really robbed the game of any form of continuity, and neither team's really able to implement their game plan to good effect. And midfield scrum, great attacking opportunity. Ulster probably won't be able to dictate what shoulder they get, given they're down a man, but the ability of Nick Williams at the back to make metres, and then the speed and footwork out wide. Interesting to see which way Ulster decide to go.
McCluskey once again has come into play on the near side of the scrum as a flanker for Ulster. Ooh, that's popped up rather nastily. I'm not sure that was legal, and the referee has gone against Ulster this time, and I don't honestly know why Ulster would want to pop it up on their own put-in. Why would you want to do that? You've got the ball. Why would you want to bring it up?
Ulster looked as though they were just going for stability in that scrum, and neither side moving forward. The scrum twisted a bit, and then simultaneously both front rows propped up. But referee's made his ruling, and up to Ulster now defensively to ensure they don't go into this half-time break, which is on the horizon, points down.
There was a big kick by Eduardo Padavani, and once again Zebre find themselves in a good attacking position, and they've got the throw to the line-out. Just over half an hour played, still no score. Zebre where they want to be. And a rather sparse home crowd trying to make a little bit of noise. Knocked backward, first of all by Bayaji, and then a support player. Good forward driving by Zebre's pack. But again, the ball's coming back so slowly, and they've given away the penalty. And Ulster get the chance to clear the lines. And again, Ulster's well-organised defence proving very positive. Dario Shistolini, the tight head prop, the man penalised.
Yeah, the pick and go tactic being employed around the fringes there, but Ulster awake to that and getting men over the ball, failure to release, and a welcome respite from that pressure.
And again, another good strike by Paddy Jackson. It's taken Ulster well out of the danger zone, almost to halfway. Quicker ball by Ulster. Jackson. McCluskey up to halfway.
Away now, 6, lead. Turnover.
Oh, turned over. How did Ulster manage to lose that one? That looked like a knock forward. Good chance this now. Now they've moved it out wide, but there's nobody of any great pace out there. The Zebre still in possession and inside Ulster's half. Knock forward. Referee playing advantage. Ulster scrambling the ball back. The discipline's not what it probably should be with Ulster. They're just, you know, they're not really just steadying the head, as we say.
Yeah, ball security an issue for Zebre. They're the ones that have set up field position. They've got the ball in hand and then taking it into contact and not managing to secure it for the next breakdown. And that's been really the tale of this half is turnovers for the team in possession. A lot of attacking mistakes have been made, and neither team at this stage able to capitalise on it, but very stop-start stuff in this first half.
Ulster scrum, and McCluskey has taken up his normal position of inside centre, so Ulster will need to get this in and away very quickly. They can't dilly-dally in this scrum. Good quick strike by Herring. Williams has to let Heaney deal with it, and he does. Here is McCluskey. Well, that nearly didn't work, but that's a forward pass.
The forward pass.
Well, when we arrived here the best part of 3 hours ago, Ron, we took a look at the day, we took a look at the pitch, and we rubbed our little paws and said, this is going to be a tri-fest, to use American parlance. Far from it.
Yeah, it hasn't lived up to its billing, and it's just been those individual errors. That one a marginal call. It's a little adjustment required and good pressure defence from Zebre, but it has been good defence from both teams. It has been applying pressure, but the ultimate responsibility for that ball lies with the ball carried, and ball security hasn't been what it needs to be at this level. Supporters not getting over the ball player, a number of penalties for not releasing, and the coaches will certainly have a lot to talk about at half-time.
Zebra's scrum. Front row's coming up again, and again Ulster get penalised.
You're pushing straight through, and you're off. Turn off. The front row are coming up, going backwards. They need to stay down in scrummage. Okay, it's repeated infringement now, okay?
Roger Wilson told by Peter Fitzgibbon exactly what the problem is. And having seen Paddy Jackson miss with a shot at the post, it's now the turn of the home side and their outside half, Eduardo Padovani, looking for his very first points for Zebre. Joined from a local club at the start of this season. This is his fourth game, only a second start, and this could be his debut points.
That's always going to be the case. Once again, we've seen it. If the Zebre scrum are the team that's moving forward and the front rows pop up, the referee will generally always penalise the retreating team for standing up, and opportunity to get some points on the board now.
Eduardo Padovani, Peter Fitzgibbon just checking with his TMO that there's only 5 minutes of this first half to go.
Is it 5 minutes to go?
It's not just as straight as Paddy Jackson's, but it's maybe 10 metres closer to the post, so should be well within the range of this fella, who was bashing them over with consummate ease just in the warm-up. Is that going to come in? No, it's not. You can hear Peter Fitzgibbon shout no. So, Zebre 0, Ulster 0, 4 minutes of a forgettable first half remaining.
Yeah, and it hasn't been system errors, you would say, that's led to the scoreboard reading 0-0. It's just been those individual errors that have resulted in that. Ulster well capable of having a number of scores given the clean line breaks that they've made, but hampered obviously with the early sending off, and now this game, you feel that the team that can get some points on the board, get some momentum in this game, will go a long way towards winning it.
That was gathered in by Haimona and taken on by Vanessa. Little bit of wind now. Good driving run, good covering tackle by Rob Herring, who had to be alert. Quicker ball now from Zebre. Cristiano, the flanker, who had to check, though. Wasn't a very clever pass. And this time it's a penalty to Ulster. And they have a chance, perhaps their last chance before the interval, to get into a good striking position.
Yeah, a number of penalties now emanating out of that breakdown area, and hopefully the referee will keep a very keen eye on that and start brandishing further cards if there's repeated infringements, to try and allow some quality of possession into this match.
2 infringements there by Zebre players. One was holding on the tackle and the other was coming in from the side. That's another excellent kick by Paddy Jackson. What a belter right down the line. Sun is shining straight into our eyes here. Nick Williams comes ambling over.
Out 10.
Ulster need good fast ball here. Williams has gone to the scrum half position. Michael Heaney has dropped back. That's untidy. That's not a good line out in such a good position. But Ulster managed to win that back. Here's Tommy Bowe. Tackled by Cristiano.
Off their feet, release.
Heaney, Williams.
One way wide.
Taken by his opposite number, Vanessa. Heaney again. Jackson. McCluskey has looked dangerous with ball in hand.
Stay back wide.
Heaney. Craig Gilroy.
Sorry, entry. Winger. Sorry, entry.
Michael Allen penalised for side entry.
Thank you. 2 minutes.
2 minutes remaining. Time for the line out though. Padavani to do a Paddy Jackson and make a decent bit of ground for his side. The old banana kick off the outside of the foot. First, an error strewn in first half, isn't it?
It hasn't had a lot of flow to it, and the last opportunity looks like it'll fall to Zebre. Obviously the team most encouraged by that scoreline, given their relative positions on the table. You felt Ulster had the firepower to dominate this first half. It hasn't gone according to plan, particularly with the early sending off, but just need to ensure they don't give away any cheap points leading into half-time.
Biaggi got above everyone. Bergamasco tidies it up. Manici's in there as well. The ball is over, according to the referee. You may have heard him say. Kelton Hayes, the skipper, helped by the veteran Bergamasco. Quicker ball this time for the home side. Taken on by Kelly Haimona from Rotorua, New Zealand. Good little bit of footwork by Julio Bisegni. First time he's got the ball. Referee's playing advantage following the knock on. Went backward, Michael Allen made a decent fist of it. Well, Ulster throwing the ball away willy-nilly. There's no discipline there. They've really got to just settle themselves down. If they keep the ball, doesn't matter whether they do anything constructive with it. The opposition can't get it. That's a charge down, and he was offside. Samuela Bonisa, who scored the try at Ravenhill a couple of weeks ago, got himself offside, and this may well be the last act of what has been a very, very average first half of rugby.
Half-time, yeah. It's not when he touches, it's when he lifts, okay? Just stay on side. Half-time.
Paddy Jackson is just going to pop it into touch, and I think, well, I wouldn't say the highlight, but the most memorable thing from that First half, apart from an almost try by Stuart McCluskey, was Declan Fitzpatrick's sending off round.
A number of line breaks from Ulster. Michael Allen initially, McCluskey prominent in that midfield with the ability to offload, but it's been those individual errors, the penalties at the breakdown, disruptions at the scrum, injuries, really has led to a fragmented first half with neither team, you would say, in the ascendancy.
Long-range penalty misses by Paddy Jackson and Eduardo Padovani, but the main talking point, without a doubt, after 10 minutes, Declan Fitzpatrick getting sent to the bin. Nothing happening here to trouble the scoreboard in Parma. It's Zebre 0 and Ulster 0.
Okay, 0-0. Pick the bones out of that, chaps. Initial thoughts?
Pants. Oh no, it's difficult. I mean, it's just been one of those games. Nothing's really got going. You know, there's been a sending off, which has taken Ulster, I think, a little bit of time to adjust to that sort of deficit in numbers. So, but listen, nothing's got going. No one's really stood up from either side. It's just been a crazy, crazy game.
Just scrappy stuff, Tony.
Yeah, it has been errors on both sides. Failure to make complete simple passes. Goal kicking's been poor. The best thing about it is probably the fact that it's sunny for Jim and Ryan and they're nice and toasty.
And we're missing the Ryder Cup. The main talking point, Declan Fitzpatrick's red card.
Yeah, it's the nature of this game now is, Gavin, with the TV that's there and video replays, TMO, if you're found in any way to be guilty of foul play, you're going to go. Declan looks as if he's reacted to something that's potentially gone off the ground. It's a driven line out, and then basically from the whistle it flares up afterwards.
Yeah, something's happened right at the bottom of that ruck there. You know, we couldn't see it, and Declan, you know, he wouldn't normally react to something. Something's solid's going on here. You can tell when he's got up, there's a bit of blood, a bit of claret coming from the bottom of the eye. So I wouldn't be too surprised if there's something happened here, a little bit of grab into the face or what have you, and Declan's reacted to it. But listen, he's been caught out. And
it's hard to be sensible in that situation, but he really doesn't need to be throwing a punch.
Listen, the right decision was made at the end of the day. We have no gripes about that, but there's obviously something going on in there. But you know what he's done is left Ulster a man down and having to. Rugby's a funny game. You need 15 men doing 15 jobs. Now we've got 14 men doing 15 jobs. There's going to be it takes a little bit of time to adjust to that at times, and I think that's what's happened with Ulster. Or that's all I can put my finger on, because at the minute it's pretty poor.
That was it. Initially, it messed things up, I suppose, for Ulster, and it just continued really through the first half.
Yeah, it has. It's been scrappy. I think we said earlier, poor passing, knock-ons. Ulster have made 2 or 3 very nice line breaks. Stuart McCluskey's been particularly impressive, probably the pick of all the players on the pitch, but we just haven't been able to finish off those half chances. We've gone through phases. It's been a knock-on at scrum half, bits and pieces going down, but McCluskey's been very effective. It's Michael Allen that makes the initial bust here, and then links up with McCluskey.
It's just a good job. He's carrying the ball in 2 hands here, McCluskey. Fantastic handoff. He's just looking for that little over-the-top pass there, and unfortunately, Darren Cave seemed to duck under on his underside. And once again, McCluskey's in the frame. He's a strong big boy. He's been playing particularly well club rugby-wise, and it's carried his form through. So we just need to get some more continuity into the game and hold the ball more than 6 or 7 phases. I don't think it's gone past 5 or 6 phases at this point. It's just silly that you threw a hard pass out there. Roger Wilson, probably should have dealt with that. But here we go. And, it's just really going nowhere. And it just needs a lot more composure on the ball and just to stay calm. And this is where you need the senior players to step up. Even though it's a young side, they still need to step up and say, right, let's just calm this down. Let's just strip it back a little bit and get back to the way we play here and put the phases together. And Zebre can possibly be there for the taking, but they need to cut through their phases.
A lot of strength at centre for Ulster. It's a 4th different combination at the start of this season.
Yeah, you take the guys that aren't there, Stuart Olding, Luke Marshall. McCluskey's been impressive, and he brings something different, more of that physical battering ram. That maybe the other guys are potentially a bit more of a footballing type centre, but I think he's been perfect for what Ulster want today. He's tried to give them a focal point in terms of what he's doing. We've seen that long pass from scrum half heading up the middle of the field. They've obviously identified that there's a weakness there in that Zebre's sort of 10-12 combination in midfield, and Stuart McCluskey and Michael Allen on occasions have made inroads there, and that's something again they'll look to press home in the second half.
You talked about the importance of the set piece before the game.
Yeah.
Scrum hasn't been.
Scrum has struggled. Andy and I both talking about it, and on these occasions, whenever it comes through, if any side gets a nudge in terms of just even get a half step forward, the way that's refereed now is that's automatic advantage to the team going forward. Ulster have been guilty of have been perceived by the referee to be guilty of standing up on 2 or 3 occasions, and there's been a succession of penalties for it.
You know, for me, it looks like, you know, there's a lot of pressure in it, there's no doubt, but because, you know, the weight advantage now with 8 against 7, Zebre just getting that little push forward, and it's given them the advantage. But for me, it looks like they seem to be popping up first. But, you know, as Tony said to me earlier on, you know, it's the team going forward that's going to look like they're going to get the advantage, and it's going to be a difficult afternoon. But, you know, I dare say we'll see Rory come into the fray at some point here, and we all know he's renowned for his scrummaging technique as well, so it might help to shore things up a touch.
What have you made of the referee's performance?
Be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know, I think there's been a lot of errors. It's been slow, it's been fractious as well. There's been a bit of off-the-ball stuff. It's difficult for him. Every referee goes out there with the intention of not being seen. They don't want to be seen. They just want to let the game flow. Whenever there are a lot of errors and individual errors as well, and the game does become start-stop, when it becomes set-piece orientated, there are going to be penalties, and he has to make a call on it. I think he's got most of the stuff right. The red card was a difficult one because he didn't see it. I think potentially the red card issue is going back to, you have 2 Italian touch judges on an Italian TMO, and also the camera work's not great, so it's difficult to see what's there, but he's been given clear instruction. He's refereed at the letter of the law and issued the red card.
Not our camera work, the Italians, we should add. Now let's take a break from the game and keep the continental theme going. This week, Thomas Niblock caught up with Ulster's Nick Williams and Darren Cave, who've brought a little bit of Italy to Belfast.
And here goes Williams. As the crowd please are going to do it again, he certainly is. Darren Kane, little bit of zip by Kane. Oh, wonderful!
Always wanted to get one, always planned to get one, but I just never had the guts to get it, I suppose. And then Nick arrived from Italy with his, and took it for a wee practice run around Ravenhill or wherever, and that was me sold, so I had to go and get one straight away.
Darren Cave's Italian influence came from his New Zealander teammate who lived and played in Italy for 2 years. A very different place compared to Belfast.
Before we had our first child, you know, on a Monday we could drive an hour and be in Venice, have lunch in Venice. On a Tuesday we can drive to Florence, which is an hour away as well. We can be in Rome the next day, so it's actually beautiful because we didn't actually have to leave the country to go on holiday.
Many familiar faces left Ulster on a one-way ticket this summer. The search continues for a permanent coach and a director of rugby, but the players remain unconcerned.
For the players like myself who've been here for 8 or 9 years, I've seen a lot of changes in coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches. When David, I was here when David was playing, and then his role, David Humphrey, his role when he was here changed a few times. Now he's gone and everything's changing again. So at the end of the day, I trust the powers that be of Ulster Rugby. I know they'll make good decisions, what they think's best for the club and the province, and I think we're in good hands.
See, to other people, you know, no matter what's happened, whatever it looks like from the outside with Hump and Mark and them gone, you know, us as a group, we've stayed strong. We've come in with a mindset of working hard and letting, like how KB said, letting the powers that be just take control of itself.
Competition is intense at Ulster Rugby as another European campaign begins next month. Kiev believes the foundations for European success are built during the Pro 12.
As you sort of hone into Europe, it comes down to, you know, people fighting for places, and that's why games like this Zebre game are so important, because if you don't play well in games like this, you're not going to be playing in those big games. Every game is important if you get your opportunity, and if boys playing this weekend want to play in Europe, they have to play well this week, and I think that bodes well for the team.
Playing for Ireland is something Darren Cave did during the summer against Argentina, and he wants to do it again at next year's World Cup. He also wants to deliver tangible success for Ulster Rugby this season.
I've played here for sort of 8 or 9 years and achieved a lot of things, you know, first win in France, first win in England, all these kinds of things, but there isn't really a lot to show for it. Having gone through those couple of dark years at the start, I'd love to have a trophy from an Ulster point of view, whatever it is. If I get games for Ulster, you know, I'd love to play for Ireland. I don't think there's any point in trying to lie about that. I know I might play for Ireland, I might not, but I think, you know, it'd be nice to sit here in May and talk about playing for Ireland. Woo!
Thomas Niblock doing his best attempt to take out the memorial clock, unsuccessful. And saw a bit of Nick Williams there. You weren't impressed in the first half, but that was nice.
Well, yeah, it was very nice. But fortunately, we've seen more of Nick Williams in that little clip than we have in the first 40 minutes of rugby. So these guys, whilst they're looking, they've got aspirations to do this and do that. They need to live at the here and the now. And for both those players, so far in the first 40 minutes, they need to readdress themselves. And I think that's symptomatic of the whole Ulster team right now. They need to take a look at themselves as individuals, start playing some rugby and put it together.
Tony, Darren Cave wants to play for Ireland. Can he play at 13 in the autumn of Six Nations?
I don't see any reason why not, Gavin. But he has all the attributes to play international football. As a piece said there, he got capped during the summer, so he's definitely in Joe Schmidt's window. Interesting to see Gordon Darcy getting a run at 13 last night for Leinster, and there's been a bit of chat, obviously. Jared Payne's there. I don't think Tommy Bowe would do a bad job in there either at 13, so there's plenty of candidates, but as Andy has said, you do your bread and butter first of all. If your bread and butter's good enough, then the pudding will follow afterwards.
Well, the fact that Les Kiss has seen these boys from the summer and right through and worked with them instead of just seeing matches helped their Ireland chances?
Well, it probably has. At the end of the day, whilst we see them for 80 minutes on a Friday or a Saturday, it's what goes on in between. It's the work ethic of an individual that leads. Les has probably seen these guys behind the scenes in a sense, and see how hard they work as individuals, and that bodes well for guys who are moving forward as well. He can probably report back and say, well, listen, I've seen the way Darren Cave or anybody for that matter is training off the pitch. He's just given it everything. It just hasn't quite happened in a match on 80 minutes, but his work ethic is second to none. So for some players that might be enough.
What's Les Kiss going to be saying in that dressing room in Italy?
I think it'll be quite structured. I don't think there'll be sort of any hairdryer bits and pieces. I think they have to sort out, obviously the disadvantage of playing with a man less is key. I think it's obviously a warm day, so I think bench will be emptied at some stage in the second half to keep fresh legs. There's some experience there with the likes of Marshall, Humphreys, Rory Best to get a run as well. They've just got to keep doing the basics. They've had most of the territory in the first half, just haven't capitalised on the chances that they've had. If they're able to put one away, that might be just give them enough breathing space, because defensively they look quite sound. They don't look as if they're going to give away any tries, but the referee in particular has been quite trigger happy. There's been lots of penalties, and if there are opportunities, I think that's how Ulster will lose this game, by giving away penalties and giving away scores.
Well, they've talked about being in a position generally with just 14 men.
Yeah, potentially, but I think, listen, at the end of the day, these guys have got to come out here now and just go through the phases. Ulster are always at their best when they go through 5, 6, 7 phases and then start to strike. They've got goodness knows they've got a good enough backline here to strike at any point. They just need to win that ball, get clean, quick ball, and go forward, and that's front foot ball, and they could take this team apart. They've done it before, they'll do it again. Okay, the teams are on their way. Fingers crossed for a little bit better in the second half. Let's rejoin Ryan and Jim.
Well, pretty uninteresting and certainly scoreless first half. Let's see if everybody can kick on collectively and indeed individually, because a lot of good collective things being done by both sides, but individually, well, a lot of handling errors, a lot of basic errors just hampered either side's progress. Well, Ulster have already drawn on the road this year. They came away from Llanelli with a 32-all draw. They got a bonus point. They'd settle for 1-0 with an own goal, I think, from this one, just to keep themselves on a roll. Remember the main talking point, Declan Fitzpatrick sending off after just 10 minutes of the first half. It hasn't got any cooler here. The sun has moved around and is shining not just in the eyes of the Zebre players, but the commentary team here. Peter Fitzgibbon, who's been fairly free with the whistle, perhaps justifiably, particularly at scrum time, who knows. Just waiting to take instruction from Carlo Damasco, and he's asked Ulster, are they ready to receive? And the answer is yes, and it's going to be Eduardo Padovani get the second half underway. Michael Heaney straight into action, and in one nice swift little deft movement caught the ball and planted it into touch, but it's going to be a Zebre line-out. I could have sworn I heard somebody say cinque, with my rough Italian holds me in good stead, means 5, so they've gone for a 5-man line out of the Zebre in the first line out in the second half. It's hands up to the eyes for this one. We can hardly see the far side of the field because of the sun. It's a bit on the long side, taken in though by Cristiano. Vanessa stepped away from the tackle of Nick Williams, who's opposite number. Little sleight of hand there. Zebre making some decent progress down the far side. That was Giulio Toniolati in at scrum half. Now it's the proper scrum half. Vanessa, well tackled by Stuart McCluskey. He's maybe not as heavy, but he's even taller. Oh, poor defence by Ulster. First Jackson and then Cave fell away from the Zebre ball carrier. Kelly Haimona. Keldon Hayes, the captain, across the 10-metre line. Good bit of continuity now by the home side. Their first decent bit for some time. That's fullback Henny Daniel in it. And this is the danger man. This could be very interesting. Oh, that's awful defence by Ulster. And we're going to have the first try. And what a breakaway try it was. They may well have to come back. And the flag is up on the far side. And Leonardo Sarto is going to be denied because he did have a foot in touch. And the touch judge will be lucky to get out of town alive for that one.
No, don't need to check. Okay, line up. Foot in touch.
Yeah, first time that Zebre have got some real quality of possession and played with that tempo that creates challenges for defensive teams, and they found space down the wider channel, but the assistant referee adjudicating that a foot was put in touch. A very clever finish from Sato, who does have that ability, and celebrating his try, unfortunately pulled back.
Try 1, 2.
Well, that is a serious let-off for Ulster. Peter Fitzgibbon asked the man who put his flag up, did he want to refer it upstairs? He said no, he was perfectly clear that there was a foot in touch. And that has maybe just saved Ulster's bacon, but Ulster have a lot of bacon saving to do.
Yeah, we're waiting,
There's a bit of a stoppage, there's an injury, and I think it's to the outside half, and Gonzalo Garcia has come on. It is the outside half has gone off. Eduardo Padovani has gone off, and Gonzalo Garcia has come on. So Kelly Haimona will probably slot into the number 10 position. Well, Ulster have gone and lost their own line out. That's not so good. It was excellent against Cardiff a week ago. Another chance now for the Zebre. I always get the feeling the first side to score in this game could come away with the spoils. Little flat pass to Haimona again. Tackle was by McCluskey. Keldon Hayes, well wrapped up by Ulster. Little sortie in the narrow side. Julio Bisegni. Shistolini, the tight head prop. Support by Manici. Sarto trying to make up for nearly scoring, and he's going to do his best. He's across the line. As he got there, it's pretty close.
Time off.
Peter Fitzgibbon's going to go upstairs, and Sarto, having been denied one try, is going to be denied another one.
Well, he had a lot of work to do. Clever little angle around the corner of the ruck, popped it into space, and had a lot of work to do. Few defenders to beat. Zebre sensing the opportunity, got him behind, drove him across the line. The question now remains, was the ball grounded?
Well, the Zebre, having played against a 14-man Ulster for half an hour of the first half, have really upped the tempo a little bit. Very close to a try a couple of minutes ago by Leonardo Sarto. Scampered down the wing, just put a tiptoe and touch. And has he been driven over for the try that he felt he should have got a few minutes earlier? Good support play by George Biaggi. Look at this great drive from the men in white.
Scrum 5, okay? Your ball, yeah? And look,
Peter Fitzgibbon is saying if it's not a try, it's going to be a scrum 5 to the attacking side. And remember, they've got 8 forwards, Ryan.
Yeah, and they never looked threatening in that first half, but they've shifted another gear. The intensity's there. They're playing at a different pace in this second half, and they're the team that's come out of the blocks well. Ulster forced into a lot of defensive work. No question whether he got over the line. That was clear. It's whether he got that ball to ground, which it'll take a while probably to establish that decision, going through a number of replays on the screen to reach the point where he gets across the line. And will then have a decision. But the default is a 5-metre scrum. They won't be disappointed with that. They have been dominating that aspect of play. Clever footwork from Sato to get around the defender, and then Herring comes in and does well to join Gilroy in attempting to hold, and it's just whether he's managed to roll him enough in the tackle.
Well, Carlo Damasco was the man who deemed that Declan Fitzpatrick should have got a red card. What's he going to do with this one? Sarto made an awful lot of ground. You know that he's very quick and he's very skillful, but he showed on the second attempt to score a try an awful lot of strength as well, and Ulster's tackling was not just maybe as crisp as it might have been. Still no decision then. The TMO, Carlo Damasco, is having a real good hard look at this one.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Carlo, go ahead.
Here we go.
The grounding is not clear, so scrum 5 by White.
But inconclusive, no try held up, yes, attacking scrum 5. No try, held up, scrum
held up, no try. So for the second time in as many minutes, Zebre and Leonardo Sarto denied a try. So it's going to be a 5-metre scrum. And Ulster will have to bring in McCluskey, I'm sure, on the flank for this one.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Crucial scrum this. Zebre can score from this one. Front rows go down now. Ulster have done a bit of jigging around. McCluskey, in fact, has gone to the number 8 position. Looks like a number 8. He's as big as many number 8s. Roger Wilson on the near side of the Ulster flank. Nick Williams on the open side. So Ulster have reorganised things.
Just give the right mark. There you go.
Sarto ominously is standing in the outside half position, just to the right of the attacking scrummage.
Yeah, if Zebre get that right shoulder up, Michael Heaney will have to move across to the other side. Sato lurking ominously. He's the danger man. They want to get the ball in his hand. He's proven what a handful he is to opposition defences.
Pick up and drive by the number 8, Vanessa. Sarto not occupied, but he may well be brought into it now.
Number 10 not rolling away.
Penalty against Paddy Jackson for not rolling away, according to the referee. So at least the Zebre are going to get a penalty out of this, but they're looking for a bit more than that. And Ulster really digging in. Garcia knocks it on. Giustolini, the tight head prop, is going to score.
Time off. Just want to check the last one here.
Well, they've gone to check the last pass to see if it was forward or not. I don't know. You sometimes wonder, do you spend more time looking at technology than you do at rugby?
Well, symptomatic of this game, nothing clear and definite. It was a tap-on, difficult task for Paddy Jackson against the tight head, 1 metre out from the line. Certainly put his body on the line and is receiving some attention. Looks like he's been split open and will need some stitches potentially. No issues with the grounding, no issues with scoring, just checking whether that tap-on was forward, and don't know that angle's going to tell us too much about it.
Well, hard to say from there. It was Garcia came in and he really had to stretch the replacement, the man who captained the Zebre in Belfast. Paddy Jackson has gone off holding a towel to his head. I think he's maybe made contact with the knee or the shoulder of the try scorer, or the would-be try scorer. We've had 2 Zebre tries disallowed for various reasons. Peter Fitzgibbon saying if it's not a try, it's going to be a penalty against Paddy Jackson. Zebre have not retreated, so maybe are they in a wee bit of doubt? We'll have to find out. And again, it's all down to Carlo Damasco. We spend more time talking about Carlo Damasco than we have about some of the players.
And it's going to be a difficult one, because as he taps it on, he gets driven backwards in the tackle, so it's going to look as though it was passed forward. So they're spending the time just to check that technically it came backwards off his hands, and that was the movement immediately after touching it.
Well, if anybody has made reservations for dinner, they're going to be late thanks to Mr. Damasco.
Peter, can you hear me?
Here we go.
Carlo, go ahead.
It's not clear and obvious, so you may award a try.
Thank you.
It's going to be a try. So we have, after 45 minutes here in Parma, the first score of the afternoon. It took another intervention and consultation with the TMO, but the tight head prop, Dario Giustolini, has scored his first league try and Zebre go into the lead.
Sato denied twice. It took a tight head to cross in the outside channel, and Zebre will certainly deserve that after the start they've made in the second half, and playing in front of their home crowd in good conditions. That should buoy them no end, and they'll look to continue that momentum they've developed in the first stanza of this second half.
Paddy Jackson has gone off. It may well be a blood injury, but Ian Humphreys, wearing number 22, is waiting to come on. So Ulster's number 10 is gone. Number 22 is now on the field, and we're waiting for the conversion attempt by Kelly Haimona. You can hear Peter Fitzgibbon saying the sun's in his eyes. I'll tell you, I have news for you, Peter. It's been in our eyes all afternoon. Here's Haimona. Ooh, he's hit that nicely. Easy bringing it in. He certainly is. That's a very good conversion. So having been denied twice at the third attempt, Zebre get the try and has been converted, and they now lead Ulster by 7 points to 0.
Yeah, and Ulster really haven't had any possession or territory in this second half. Zebre have come out, they're playing with a different intensity, playing with a lot more ambition as well, and after a number of failed attempts, they've got their just rewards.
Vanessa gets away from the first attempted tackle, but only by a matter of meters.
Use it! Carry back in.
Kicked by Palazzini. Craig Gilroy takes it. Runs into the try scorer. Heaney. Callum Black ambushed, but he's made it available. Quicker ball by Ulster. Not the greatest pass by Heaney. Pirouette by Franco van der Merwe. Heaney again. Humphreys. It's bounced up handily into the arms of a Haimona. And that's going to be an Ulster line. Ulster have to respond pretty smartish, don't they, Ryan?
Yeah, shell-shocked by that dominance that Zebre are showing at the start of this second half. What they need to do, as Andy Wood said in the studio, is to strip things back. Go back to the basics, establish some field position, concentrate on their set piece, get their defensive structures right, carry that ball into contact, focus on ball security, discipline, and look after your own job. It'll be a real focus on the basics with the leaders in the team starting to come to the fore and drive that forward, because Ulster need to stamp some authority on this second half.
Well, they've enjoyed the most wonderful afternoon. Alas, the rugby hasn't still lived up to the weather. But the temperatures here in Palma are into the mid-70s in old money. Bit of cramp there, sustained by Andrea Manici, the Zebre hooker.
Time on.
Ulster's line out. Well taken. Heaney. Humphreys. McCluskey very nearly made it through. Heaney, quicker ball. Roger Wilson. Good check and change. Vanessa's got to get out of it, and he does. Here's Cave back inside to Craig Gilroy. A little bit more urgency about Ulster's play now. Heaney. Humphreys. Humphreys again. Good defending by Zebre right up on Ulster's replacement outside half. But well won by the Ulster forwards. Roger Wilson. Bergamasco rolls out of the way. Little pop pass. Good take on by Neil McComb, the biggest man in the Ulster squad. Here's Heaney. Rob Herring. Capped by Aaron as a replacement flanker last summer against Argentina. Now it's Cave. Good thrust by Cave, very nearly made it. Tackle by Cristiano. Penalty against Zebre for not releasing the man in the tackle. Van der Merwe.
It's knocked on there. No
nudge forward, and also will get the penalty, and they have to take the 3 points, don't they?
Yeah, excellent passage of play. That ball carrier is really taking it to that defensive line, but the support players, once that collision has been dominated and the ball presented, are ensuring there are no stragglers. Good clean ball, and that's created tempo, and Ulster thrive on those sort of conditions, and a well constructed opportunity now to get on the scoreboard.
Number 1, yeah, after the kick, okay.
The Italians are going to make a replacement. Well, it looks like number 16, the replacement hooker, is coming on, Oliviero Fabiani. But is he going to replace the loose head prop? No, it's Mateus Aguero is not the man coming off. It is Manichi, who's been injured a couple of times, so this is going to be our replacement. Anyway, all eyes on Ian Humphreys. Ulster need these 3 points.
Yes.
Nice little clip by Ian Humphreys, and Ulster on the board is 7-3 now to the home side.
Yeah, and that urgency you spoke about clearly evident in that passage of play. Zebre stunning them with that opening try after a couple of failed attempts, and Ulster responding very well by increasing the intensity and urgency with which they're carrying the ball.
And Ulster, I think, are about to bring on Rory Best. So having replaced one hooker, we're going to see a second hooker being replaced, and Rory Best is coming on. Rob Herring goes off, and Ireland's most capped hooker, and this season's Ulster skipper comes on. Will he make a difference? We'll have to wait and see. 4 points between them, the home side leading 7-3. Kelly Haimona knocked into the arms of Darren Cave, gets away from Aguero.
Carried back in now.
Humphreys giving that a fair old wallop. Well positioned though by Henny Daniner, big leggy South African. What a good tackle on halfway by Ulster. Benissa. Garcia puts the foot on the gas. Wilson gets back. Good break by the multi-capped Italian international. Holding on in the tackle though. Rory Best straight into it.
Move away.
And Bergamasco anxious to get his teeth into Rory Best yet again. These two have been locking horns for a decade at international level. And Rory Best sensibly just walks away from the whole thing.
Number 3. Number 3.
Cistolini is going to be spoken to, and Rory Best is going to be spoken to. There's a fair bit of needle in this game now, as there was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, well, no team clearly on top, and the scoreboard reflecting that, so a lot to play for.
It's a very close game. Okay. Anything after the whistle is liable to a yellow card. It may cost your team the game. When the whistle goes, you stop. Discipline now. Time on. Penalty not releasing.
Well, we're messing about with Peter Fitzgibbon, but back to the original penalty for not releasing the man. Not releasing the ball in the tackle, I should say. Now it's Humphreys' turn to try to make a bit of ground. Jackson did well in this aspect in the first half, and Humphreys has done equally well. Still there for Ulster, and this renowned Ulster fitness level will really come to the fore, particularly since they've been struggling for, well, 50 minutes with only 14 men.
Yeah, Jonathan Davis will have them whipped into shape after that pre-season. It's just about applying structure. No need to panic at this juncture in the game.
Aston McCluskey was a little bit floated. He didn't really have much of a chance, and Heaney gets it away. Referee playing advantage. Michael Allen, little chip and chase. Now who's got the gas here? Back goes Zebre. That's gone loose. Referee says the advantage is over following Ulster's kick.
Sorry,
he's blown the whistle.
Pass. Okay, so I'll go back for the no advantage then. Okay.
So there was no advantage, and they're going to go all the way back to
a forward pass by Ulster.
Forward pass by Ulster.
Number 6 wide offside.
And Ulster will be getting the penalty because Bergamasco's got himself offside. Well, everything's happening here. The result of all of that is an Ulster penalty.
Shot a call.
Roger Wilson still keeping the captaincy, even though Rory Best is on the field. And Ian Humphreys has elected, or Roger Wilson has elected for him to have a pop at goal to reduce the gap to a single point should it be successful.
Yeah, right decision. No need to panic. Ulster finding a way back into this game, but when they get opportunities, they need that to be reflected on the scoreboard, and right option at this point to take the 3. Ulster just looking for the win to get 4 points, keep that momentum going for this season, and really looks like Glasgow and Leinster always there towards the end of the season will be vying for that top 2, all-important top 2 spot.
It's the 61st league game for Ian Humphreys, and he's now got, by my reckoning, 428 league points. He's got underneath that one. It needs to come in. That looks good. You can hear the referee say it. That's a good kick by Ian Humphreys. So Ulster's replacement outside half has landed a second penalty, and there's now only 1 point between them. It says Zebre 7 and Ulster 6. Zebre have made another replacement Andrea Lavotti, wearing number 17, has come on. So Lavotti has come on, and Lewis Stevenson, wearing number 19, has come on for Ulster, and that Neil McComb has gone off.
Advantage, knocked on advantage. Advantage over.
Penalty against Zebre. Now, is their discipline starting to go a little bit?
Who's captain? Yeah, number 8 can't react like that, okay?
Nick Williams getting a little bit feisty again. He must keep his discipline.
If I see you again, you may get a yellow card.
Open side flanker Filippo Cristiano penalised for a second time, and this will give Ulster and Ian Humphreys a decent chance. That was the penalty incident, just lying all over the ball. Humphreys has struck that nicely yet again.
Yeah, Zebre coaching staff will be disappointed after starting so well, establishing that 7-0 advantage, then just that indiscipline creeping into their game again and conceding penalties. It's cost them 6 points and it's cost them territory on this occasion.
2 good accurate throws, or rather 3 I should say, by Rory Best, finding his target man, and the ball is in there for Ulster. That's a maul. They're still churning forward. The Zebre have to be careful that they don't drag it down, because the referee may be going to the pocket if that's the habit.
Same maul, 1-9.
Callum Black in the middle of all of that, taking it forward. Referee says it's the same maul. Heaney. Pretty aimless pass. Darren Cave did well, gets it to Tommy Bowe, who's seen so little of the ball. Heaney again, that's better. Knocked forward by Ulster. Lewis Stevenson, those big paws of his letting him down, and away come Zebre. Michael Allen has to retrieve the situation, and will they go back for the initial knock forward? And they will. Chances there for Ulster, Ryan. They have to take them.
Yeah, they've been edging their way back into this game through the indiscipline of Zebre, but they will be looking to make a statement. They have got leadership on the field now. They've made a number of substitutions. Can't forget they've been playing with 40 men for the majority of this game, and they'll be, at this point in the game, they'll just be looking for a way to sneak across the line. A couple more substitutes warmed up, not that they have to do much to get into that state, but a lot to play for. Zebre looking for their first win of this season.
Valerio Bernabeu comes on for the second time, and the man he replaced in the first half because of a blood injury, Filippo Cristiano, goes off. So number 7 for Zebre goes off, and number 20 for Zebre comes on. Let me just remind you too that Lewis Stevenson, wearing number 19, has come on for Neil McComb, and number 17 for the Zebre loosehead prop replacement Andrea Lavotti is on for Matthias Aguero, number 1.
We got to be in the space now. You're head on head there, both of you.
Remember, 10 minutes.
Got to be in the space.
Only had a lapse when Declan Fitzpatrick, Ulster's tight head prop, was red carded for punching an opponent.
Crouch.
Still inside the third quarter, only a point between them. Solid enough Ulster scrum. The extra man making a wee bit of a difference there. Referee says they have to use it. Haimona. Not the greatest kick in the world. Ulster's line out in a pretty decent position. Still plenty of time, 23 minutes or so remaining, Ryan.
Yeah, neither team will required to panic at this stage. It's still very much a case of all to play for, but it goes back to trusting your structures, the game plan that's been devised during the week from the coaches. It's all about implementation, accuracy at pace, the key for both of these teams.
Another replacement, Argentinian-born Luciano Leibson, wearing number 18, is on, and the try scorer Dario Cistolini has gone off. So 18 Leibson on, 3 Cistolini off. And as Leibson takes it forward, advantage is over. Bergamasco, ever willing, now 33, in fact 35 years of age.
Release blue.
Good defence yet again by Ulster, close quarters. George Biaggi tries to make some ground. Palazzani, the scrum half, Fresh legs now starting to tell a little bit for Zebre. Good bit of wriggling there by Sarto. Leibson. Williams up very quickly. Haimona. Wee bit long, that's going to come down inside the 22. Well gathered by Craig Gilroy, Ulster's fullback. And that needed to find touch and it didn't. This is Haimona. Brushed aside the first tackle, which wasn't so good. Zebre now have got their tails up. That little go-forward ball has been a real blessing. Well, that was a change of direction by Garcia when he had 5 men outside him. Ball has gone loose.
It's knock on advantage.
Referee's playing advantage for Ulster's knock on.
Not held.
Lavotti takes it forward, the replacement prop.
Advantage over.
Advantage is over according to the referee. Quentin Geldenhuys.
Backwards.
Man down injured for Zebre, looks like Tony Olati. Zebre's ball is not quick enough to bother Ulster, but the sheer numbers may start to weigh down, and here's the danger man.
12.
Henry Danler, the big full-back, taken down. Ulster have a man down, but I think it's maybe Lewis Stevenson's having a problem with the contact lens. Palazzani, who scored a try from full-back a couple of seasons ago on this very ground against Ulster. Knocked forward by Ulster, and they'll be happy enough with that. Good defending yet again, but they need to score.
Excellent confrontational defence from Ulster. Number of players now taking a knee, combination of being down to 14 men and the conditions here extremely hot in the afternoon. No wind to speak of, and starting to take its toll on Ulster given their defensive efforts. But as this game reaches a crescendo, you can see the urgency and the intensity and the understanding from both sides at what's at stake in this early season game.
Another Zebre replacement about to be made. Wearing number 19 is second row forward Andres Ferreira, 24-year-olds coming on. Not quite sure who's going to be coming off. And Mike McComish is on the field for Ulster, wearing number 20.
You need to... Oh, no. Okay.
Nick Williams leaving the field, looking rather disconsolate. And another home replacement about to be made to Luciano O'Caran, wearing number 22. The 32-year-old, vastly experienced Italian international is going to come on. So McComish, wearing number 20 for Ulster, is on for Nick Williams. The Italians haven't made their replacements yet, or the changes yet. Clock starts again. We've still a quarter of this game to go, only a point between them. Solid enough 7-man Ulster scrum. Vanessa on the narrow side, well intercepted by Ulster. Looked like Roger Wilson. Heaney, that's going to go straight into touch, and that's a basic error that didn't need to be made. A couple more replacements being warmed up by Ulster, 3 in fact. Paul Marshall coming on, Andrew Trimble's about to come on. Replacement prop is also coming on.
Keep the space, it's good.
Rory Murphy, but not yet. We shall keep you posted.
More.
Taken well by Vanessa. Zebre getting a drive on. This is Vanessa. He's made good ground, got past a couple of tackles. Ulster turned that one over. Chance if they can shift this now. McCluskey had to readjust. Cave needs to give it. Gilroy. Little chip and chase by Tommy Bowe. Tony Olati. That goes into touch. Ulster take it quickly. Play on, says the referee.
No, not
nicely back inside. That's an awful pass by Stevenson. Wilson, Ulster moving backward. Here's Cave. They need to go forward. Little chip into space. Just that bit too far. Well gathered in by the Zebre fullback Daniler. And an enormous boot by Sarto, covered by Ian Humphreys.
Blues, come out now.
High up into this clear blue sky. Good chase by Gilroy. Taken by Tony Olati. Into a bit of space. Humphreys chases. Boyce was kind to Ulster's replacement. And what a good kick by Humphreys. Hasn't found touch though. Palazzini, I should say. Ulster make the mark. Heaney. And the touch is good this time, but it's going to be a Zebre throw. Well, 1 point between them. A penalty or anything would do, Ulster, wouldn't it?
Yeah, starting to get a little bit tense now out there, and both teams now more of an understanding that it needs to be played in opposition territory. Penalty either way may decide this game, and both teams reluctant now to be playing in their own half.
Michael Heaney, his first start of the season, leaves. He's had over an hour of rugby. Paul Marshall, who started every single game so far, including the pre-season friendlies, has come on. For his 128th Ulster game. Referee not happy with the line-out.
All part of the original maul, no issues. The line for you.
Ulster's line-out. Rory Best. Good line-out by the visitors.
Roll away 4. Ball is available, stay.
Keldon Hayes not rolling away according to the referee. Now Marshall.
Winger's okay.
Has he kept that in field? I think he has, you know. Tony Olati outside his 22 needs to be tackled. Got it away pretty well. Good tackle by Darren Cave. Bergamasco sets it up well. Ulster give away a silly penalty.
13 has taken out the 9. No, he's okay on his feet.
Scrum half was taken out. With Darren Cave the culprit perhaps.
They're looking to occupy that space beyond the ball, and as he drives through, just contact with the 9, and referee giving the penalty. No doubt Zebre will look to kick long into Ulster territory. They've used that driving maul to good effect throughout the game, albeit Ulster stopped the last one into touch, but it's setting up field position now. 15 or 16 minutes left on the clock. It's establishing field position. It's keeping the ball, looking for opposition mistakes to either set up, try scoring, drop kick or penalty opportunities, and just trying to stretch that 1 point margin.
Zebre looking not just for the first win of this particular season, but their first points. They've played 3 and lost 3. They haven't got even a losing bonus point.
Okay.
Still no sign of Ulster's other replacements coming. Andrew Trimble still warming up. Likewise, Rory Murphy, the replacement loose head prop. Back to action again. Kelly Haimona. Good strike to the far touchline. Takes play right down to Ulster's 22. And Zebre, remember, will have the throw to the line out.
Don't touch him in the area. Line for you, yeah? Yeah.
Zebre look like they're taking a number of players out because Vanessa and Bergamasco are in the back line somewhere. I can also press that short of the front, well taken. Good driving forward. Here they come again, looking for what could be the clinching try. Keldon Hayes tries to get it away. Well, the referee said that went backward. That's a good bit of tackling by Big Lewis Stevenson on Mauro Bergamasco. And Stevenson has helped shunt Ulster back 20 metres away from the danger zone. Palazzani. Keldon Hayes knocks it forward. Referee waits for advantage. None comes. Ulster scrum. So getting quite exciting.
Yeah, we've got to remember Ulster rotated a number of players to give players opportunity, not what you would consider their full-strength team. Down to 14 men very shortly after the kickoff, and showing a real amount of character now late in this game. Desperate to try and get this win and keep the momentum they have in this campaign, and some excellent defensive work being shown by the Ulster pack, and Lewis Stevenson to the fore on that occasion.
George Biaggi, whom we thought was going off 10 minutes ago, has now gone off to be replaced by Andres Ferreira. who is wearing number 19. Getting up very gingerly is Vian Herbst. Let's hope nothing happens to him.
He probably thought when he hopped off the team bus that he was in for 20 minutes or so at the back end of this game, thrust into it early. Big workload he's carried at the initial part of his stint with Ulster, but promising signs for Ulster for his future within this team. But now the focus for the remaining 13 or so minutes of this game is how to manufacture a scoring opportunity to gain those vital 4 points.
Paul Marshall shoved out of the way. Better Ulster scrum. Also have to pick up and take it away. And that's gone round through 90 degrees according to the referee. And the scrum put in is going to go to the home side, which gives them a very decent chance because they're in a very good attacking position. Paul Marshall complaining that there was that he got pushed in the back by his opposite number, Guglielmo Palazzani. Are they checking something upstairs again, Ryan?
Waiting to hear some communication from the referee as to what the hold-up is. A couple of players down tying shoelaces, etc. Everyone else in attacking formation in the Zebre team. Ulster now focused on their defensive duties, waiting to get that all-important possession that'll propel them down the pitch into a scoring opportunity.
7-6 in favour of the home side. The score either way will settle this game.
Set.
Ulster hold. Will Zebre try a secondary shove? Here they come. Quentin Keldenace in the second row is going to be calling this one. There they go. Referee's thinking about the penalty. He's having a good look. And that's a good drive by Zebre. They've been told to use it. And Ulster's try offside. He did say use it. And he's decided that Ulster weren't pushing straight after all of that.
Well, it seemed like an eternity that the two opposing scrummaging teams were locked together and nothing was happening. And after about 7 or 8 seconds, there started to be a slight hint of movement forward for Zebre, and then that turned on the angle, and the referee called for them to use it, but then allowed them to continue their march forward, and the penalty that they were so after has been achieved, and an opportunity to stretch this out to 4 means Ulster need 2 penalties or combinations of penalties and drop goals or a try to get ahead. Zebre can't go into their shell after this, though. Need to stay on the front foot because Ulster have shown they have the ability to break the line.
A couple of weeks ago in Belfast, Kelly Haimona kicked a couple of penalties and a conversion. He's got a conversion already. Andrew Trimble, wearing number 23, is ready to come on for Ulster. Can even the great Andrew Trimble make a difference at this stage? Rory Murphy, the loose head prop, is coming on, but here's Kelly Haimona to stretch the home lead to 4 points. Little hop and a skip.
Yes.
He's clipped it. You can hear the referee say yes, and that's a good kick. So Ulster now, to win this game, are going to have to get themselves a try if there's one more score in them. So 23 is on. Andrew Trimble. Stuart McCluskey has gone off, so also do a bit of reshuffling. And number 16, Rory Best, needless to say, is still on. Number 17 is on. Rory Murphy, the loose head prop for Callum Black. Trimble as ever chases aggressively. Did he knock that forward? It was knocked back, I think. Referee says play on. So already Trimble making a difference.
Well, he actually got that turnover, and the referee apologising. He blew the whistle so quickly as Ulster may have been about to set an attack, but it's that relentless chasing attitude that he has and that focus on the ball, undeterred by whatever's in his way, and a huge opportunity now for Ulster, back where they want to be at this stage in the game.
Andrew Trimble packing down on the blind side of the Ulster scrum. Roger Wilson at number 8, Mike McComish on the open side. Most important scrum of the game for Ulster. They can't bring Trimble in off the wing because he's in the scrum. Marshall, Humphreys, Cave nearly through. Good covering tackling. Marshall, not a good pass at all. Stevenson had to stretch right down. Marshall, bit of dithering there. Here goes Cave. Tackled by Vanessa. Marshall, Rory Best. Steps back infield, stretches back the arm, nicely placed. This is McComish.
Away 20.
Straight forward. Marshall, Stevenson. Ulster hurtling bodies in there. Humphreys, nice little flat pass. Gilroy right through. Nicely done. Here come Ulster again. It's going to be a try. Darren Cave at the post. Referee's just checking the last pass, but I'm pretty sure Darren Cave has got the try that will have put Ulster into the lead for the very first time in this game. And the referee's looking for obstruction as well.
Yeah, nothing simple in this game. Open them up. Ian Humphreys throwing the pass, just delaying the pass enough. The ball goes behind the player. Looks like the player made a decision and wasn't obstructed from the tackle, and what a clever finish. Perfect line by Darren Cave coming across the current, and Gilroy just left it up there in the space, enticing him onto that ball, and a little piece of magic from Ulster in the dying minutes. Just waiting for clarification. There was no obstruction.
Well, Tommy Bowe ran. There was nothing unless that little bit of Tommy Bowe making a collision with Kelly Haimona was the one that was causing the problem. But I'll be hugely surprised, and from an Ulster perspective, hugely disappointed if that was disallowed. Conversion, remember, to come if the try is good. Gilroy, little pop pass just into a little bit of space, and Cave read it well, sniffed that one out, and he finished without a glove being laid on him. Weighted the pass now. That was the bit of the controversy there, Ryan, I think. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know that that player would have been able to, in effect, a tackle anyway. The player was outside of the ball by the time he received it, so it looks like a poor defensive decision as opposed to an obstruction.
Okay, you got obstruction by 14 blue, so it's a penalty. No try.
Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe what Carlo Damasco has just said. He's decided it was a push by Tommy Bowe, and it's going to be a penalty against Ulster. So they may well not be coming away with a victory here. Well, a couple of very interesting decisions by Carlo Damasco. I'm not altogether sure Declan Fitzpatrick should have been red carded. Haimona, he's put that straight into touch.
And I'm not even sure.
Oh, well, of course it was a penalty. Sorry, it's me thinking it was a 22 dropout. I beg your pardon.
Not even sure the defensive player even saw Gilroy coming on that line, let alone would have been in a position to affect the tackle. But Ulster need to deal with that decision now. They created one try scoring opportunity, and they're still in the right part of the pitch. Just need to maintain their composure and try and manufacture another one.
8 minutes remaining. Little pop on the short side to Sam Bonisa. Rory Best up very quickly. Palasani. Michael Allen. Knocked on by Ulster. Referee playing advantage to Zebre, and they're going to take advantage of it. Palasani. Haimona tries to make a bit of a gap. Palasani again. Tony Alate. That's gone wide. Sarto lurking. Danilo sets it up. This is Sarto. Palasani. Keldon Hayes, the skipper. Tackle was by Vian Herbst. That's touched an Ulster player, and it's gone wide. I think the referee's going to have a look at it.
Not sure.
He's not sure, Peter Fitzgibbon, because of the sunlight. And if that's gone over, then that's killed it for Ulster. Ulster at the moment have got a losing bonus point when they thought they had the game won.
If you don't have a conclusive angle, I'm going to give it. But
He's going to give this, you know. That's gone over.
I can't hear you. Can't hear you, Stefan.
And that man on the screen, Hamona's been core to Zebre's effort. Outstanding ball carrying initially in the 12 channel, slotted into 10 and directed his team around the park, and it looks like he's made a very good decision on this. The ball was disrupted, it was a little bit slow, he stood in the pocket, he gave a nice contact to that, and it just remains to be seen now whether it snuck over the bar or dipped under, and it looks like it's over.
Yes, Carlo.
May award the drop kick.
It is a drop kick. It is a drop kick. And the Zebre now 7 points up. And Ulster really have to work hard. They need a converted try to salvage a draw here. And I don't know that there's enough time. They would put everything into it. There goes Trimble, jumps and chases. Ball was knocked forward. This is Sarto.
I'm sorry.
Zebre look like they're heading for their first victory of the season. Ball taken by Gilroy, who's done well at full back. Gets up to halfway. Replacement hooker was all over him. Humphreys, bit of width. Cave. Now to Michael Allen. Back inside to Tommy Bowe. Bowe stretches the legs. Good run by the British Lion. Must be a penalty, surely.
Not rolling away. It's back here. Okay, let him go.
Playing advantage for an earlier infringement and coming all the way back to the halfway line to give an opportunity for Ulster, who must surely now kick into the corner, go for the draw. 3 points. They're still within 1 point losing territory, so gambling everything, kicking into the corner, seeing if they can construct a 7-pointer and go from there.
Oh, delicate kick by Humphreys. Wonderful kick by Humphreys. Paddy Jackson, remember, off he collided with either a knee or an elbow in an attempt to stop the Zebre try. We have just over 5 minutes remaining, and Ulster will need to do what they did in their opening game of the season away to the Scarlets in Llanelli. Here's Rory Best. Stevenson with the take, McComish with the tidy up. Marshall waits, they'll have to play this one. There goes Marshall. Humphreys. Marshall away again Humphreys. Gilroy does well. Zebre defending for all they're worth. Ulster putting everything into this. Here goes Stevenson. Across the 22. Tall Marshall. Now Cave. Thought he was in for what might have been the winning try. Tommy Bowe. Trimble in as a flanker. Marshall on the narrow side. Rory Best minus the headgear. Marshall again. Rory Murphy, the loose head replacement. Referees let that go. Turnover by Zebre. How crucial is that going to be? 4.5 minutes to go. That hasn't found touch. Well taken by Allen. Now Trimble. Trimble has a go. Out of the back of his hand. Far too much force there. And it's going to be a Zebre line-out. 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Ulster now starting to feel the pinch. They've put a number of their substitutions on. Down to 14 men. They've had to work hard throughout this match, and it remains to be seen whether they've got enough in to try and salvage a little bit more out of this game than a single.
He's got a head injury. I have to stop for him, okay?
Luciano O'Cara wearing number 23 looked as if he was coming on some time ago, but he is going to come on now. Is there somebody got a head injury? I thought I heard the referee say. A brief stoppage. The clock will stop. Just under 4 minutes remaining. And the outcome of this game, I guess, Ryan, was decided in the 11th minute when Declan Fitzpatrick was sent off, because the whole thing changed completely.
Yeah, the dynamic changes, obviously. You can cope with it for 10 minutes here or there with the yellow. It totally alters your defensive structure around the set piece, particularly the scrum, when you lose one of your starting 8. And Ulster had to try and adapt to it, but a spirited performance that can't be taken away from Zebre. They came out in that second half. They looked fairly impotent in the first, but in the second, they showed their strike power.
That was won by Bernabo at the line-out. Andrew Trimble gathers well. Slips inside Bergamasco. Marshall. Humphreys. Tommy Bowe. No way through for the league's top try scorer. Marshall again. Rory Murphy. Fine hop and a skip from the replacement prop. Marshall. Rory Best. Zebre tackling and tackling. Humphreys. Gilroy. Good strong run. Got support from Bowe and Trimble. And Marshall in there as well. Bernabo, did he come in from an offside position? Well, the referee didn't think so. This is Vian Herbst, who's been on since the 11th minute. Humphreys. Cave. Poor pass. He's given a chance now to deny Ulster perhaps even the losing bonus point. Here they come again. It's the young centre, Giulio Busegni.